What is the value of the expression 4 squared minus open parenthesis 50 divided by 25 times 2 close parenthesis, then divided by 2 squared? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? This expression seems very simple, but it tricks almost everyone. Let's dive in and break it down step by step together. At the beginning, many people go straight to the expression inside the parentheses because they believe parentheses have a higher priority than the other operations. And they immediately perform the multiplication between 25 and 2 because they think multiplication has a higher priority than division. So, they simplify this expression and write it as 4 squared minus 50 divided by 50 inside the parentheses, then divided by 2 squared. And the next step, they move on to the division between 50 and 50 and replace this expression with 4 squared minus 1 divided by 2 squared. Then, they go to the exponents and simplify this expression to 16 minus 1 divided by 4. And the final step, they go for the division between 1 and 4 because they believe division has a higher priority than subtraction. So, they rewrite this expression as 16 minus 0.25, which finally gives them the answer 15.75. Then, they quickly say that option C is the correct answer to this question. However, this answer is absolutely wrong. Also, some other people when solving this question first go straight to the expression 4 to the power of 2 and simplify this expression to 16 minus 50 divided by 25 times 2 inside the parentheses, then divided by 2 squared. And the next step, they focus on the expression inside the parentheses and solve the division between 50 and 25. So, they simplify this expression to 16 minus 2 times 2 inside the parentheses, then divided by 2 squared. Then, they perform the multiplication between 2 and 2 inside the parentheses and write this expression as 16 minus 4 divided by 2 squared. Next, they perform the subtraction between 16 and 4 and simplify this expression to 12 divided by 2 squared. In the final step, they handle the exponent and write this expression as 12 divided by 4, which ultimately gives them the answer 3. And immediately, they conclude that option A is the correct answer to this question. But I have to say, we were tricked and it's not the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let me show you how to solve this expression correctly. To solve this question, we must follow a rule that is called PEMDAS. And this rule, P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponent, M stands for multiplication, D stands for division, A stands for addition, and S stands for subtraction. It means that we need to perform all the operations step by step in order from top to bottom. Okay, as you can see in the image, in this expression, first we have an exponent, then a subtraction sign, followed by parentheses, then a division, and finally another exponent. According to the PEMDAS rule, first we should start with the parentheses, because parentheses have the highest priority over all other operations. And inside the parentheses, first we have a division sign and then a multiplication sign. It's very important to note that multiplication and division have exactly the same level of priority. In this situation, we must start from the left and move toward the right, performing these two operations in order. So, first we do the division between 50 and 25, and this expression simplified to 4 squared minus 2 times 2 inside the parentheses, then divided by 2 squared. And the next step, we handle the multiplication between 2 and 2, and this expression simplified to 4 squared minus 4 divided by 2 squared. Next, it's time to handle the exponents, because according to the PEMDAS rule, after parentheses, exponent has a higher priority than the other operations. So, we can write this expression as 16 minus 4 divided by 4. And the final step, we perform the division between 4 and 4, because division has a higher priority than subtraction. So, this expression simplifies to 16 minus 1, which finally gives us the answer 15. That's great. Option B is the correct answer to this question. What is the value of the expression 9 plus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by open parenthesis 6 plus 6 close parenthesis? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? Let's take a closer look and solve it together. Many people, when solving this question, first go for the expression 9 plus 18 and write this expression as 27 divided by 3 multiplied by 6 plus 6 inside the parentheses. And the next step, they go for the division between 27 and 3. And this expression simplifies to 9 multiplied by 6 plus 6 inside the parentheses. And the final step, they tackle the expression inside the parentheses and write it as 9 multiplied by 12, which ultimately gives them the answer 108. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that the correct answer to this question is option D. However, that's definitely wrong. Also, some other people, when solving this question, first go for the parentheses and write this expression as 9 plus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 12. And the next step, they go for the multiplication between 3 and 12 because they believe multiplication has priority over division. So, this expression simplifies to 9 plus 18 divided by 36. Then, they go for the division between 18 and 36 because they think division has a higher priority than addition. And they rewrite this expression as 9 plus 0.5, which ultimately gives them the answer 9.5. And immediately, they conclude that option B is the correct answer to this question. However, it's not the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let me explain step by step how to solve this expression properly. To solve this question, we must follow the PEMDAS rule. We have to follow the order of operations step by step from top to bottom. Okay, as you can see on the screen, in this expression, first we have an addition sign, then a division sign, followed by a multiplication, and finally parentheses. We must start with the parentheses first, because it has the highest priority than the other operations. So, instead of this expression, we can write 9 plus 18 divided by 3 multiplied by 12. And the next step, we need to handle the division and multiplication, because multiplication and division have a higher priority than addition. However, it's very important to note that in the PEMDAS rule, multiplication and division have the same level of priority. In this case, the best thing to do is to start from the left side of the expression and move toward the right, performing division and multiplication in order. So, first we perform the division between 18 and 3, which simplifies this expression to 9 plus 6 multiplied by 12. And the next step, it's time for the multiplication between 6 and 12, because multiplication has priority over addition. So, instead of this expression, we can write 9 plus 72, which ultimately gives us the answer 81. Therefore, option C is the correct answer to this question. What is the value of the expression 36 divided by 9 multiplied by open parenthesis 2 plus 2 close parenthesis? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? Let's go step by step and solve it together. And the first step, most people start by solving the expression inside the parentheses and replace it with 36 divided by 9 multiplied by 4. And the next step, they go for the multiplication between 9 and 4 because they think multiplication has priority over division. So, this expression simplifies to 36 divided by 36, which finally gives them the answer 1. And immediately, they quickly say that option A is the correct answer to this question. However, this answer is absolutely wrong. As you can see on the screen, in this expression, first we have a division sign, followed by a multiplication sign, and finally parentheses. To solve this question, we need to use the PEMDAS rule. PEMDAS shows us the priority of the order of operations. So, we start with the parentheses first, because it has the highest priority than the other operations. Okay, this expression simplifies to 36 divided by 9 multiplied by 4. Now, it's time to simplify this expression. It's very important to note that in the PEMDAS rule, multiplication and division have exactly the same level of priority. In this case, all we need to do is to start from the left side of the expression and move step by step toward the right. So, first we perform the division between 36 and 9. Let's simplify this expression to 4 multiplied by 4. And finally, the value of this expression will be 16. Therefore, option D is the correct answer to this question.